everyone, this is Sherry at Soul Conscious Tarot, and we are going to do the full moon reading for this full moon that's coming up in a couple days. This is the January, I think it's full moon in Leo. I'll have to double check that. But I've been trying to pull on every full moon, if you haven't noticed in my reading. So let's see what we got. I have no idea. I don't know what's going to come out here, so we'll see what happens. Thank you for joining me, whether you're new or a previous viewer. Thank you for joining me and supporting me. I appreciate you so much. Oh, there we go. I think there's, yeah, I was going to say, I think there's two stuck together there. Okay. So we have solitude. My first thought, the word solitude brought me to the hermit, but then I saw the boat, which gives me that Six of Swords. So this almost tells me that we'll see what else comes through. But I love that there's this full moon in the background too. Perfect, actually. Isn't that perfect? So this is really telling me that this is going to be, like I said, hermit to begin with. That's telling me that this is a time of reflecting on something that's coming up at this time. And I think there's a decision to be made, because when we think about the Six of Swords is like moving on into calmer waters. You're moving away from something towards something else, toward usually leaving behind conflict or leaving behind something that no longer is for us and moving towards something that is for us, or what we feel. It's almost like, in a sense, a kind of awakening in the fact of realizing there's something in our lives that just doesn't fit anymore, that doesn't belong anymore. It really is like getting rid of some baggage, some unneeded, unnecessary, unwanted baggage. It's giving me this sense and similar energy to like when you clean out your closet and you get rid of stuff that no longer, you no longer wear, no longer use, and you get rid of that, and it makes that space for something better, something new, so you can get some new clothes or something new for your house or whatever. But it's like that way, it's really talking about that in our entire life, so there's something here. It's saying on this full moon, there's been this reflection. And I think this really, because if I remember, or if you watch the new moon reading that I did a couple weeks ago on the new moon, I said that there was like some stuff going on that would happen between like decisions and stuff that were going to be made, and some things that were going to be coming up during this 2-week period leading into the full moon that are going to lead toward decisions that would, probably come up during the full moon. And that's what I'm really feeling like here is there's things that have come up, and there's decisions that need to be made to either, because this guy, if you look at that guy in the boat, he's sitting still. He's not rowing. He's sitting there. He's sitting there under the contemplation of the full moon. And I said the first thing I got with the word solitude here is the Hermit card. So this tells me sitting and reflecting on which way to go. Which way is he going to row that boat? Back to where he's been, or forward to a new destination? And that's for each of us to decide. That's a decision we get to, oh, look at that. Stand still. And that's exactly what, what this was saying. I said that guy on that boat is standing still. He's not rowing. He's not rowing. He's not moving. And what is that, like a stork? I can't tell. I think it might be a flamingo, but he's got like color, like green and pink, crazy looking wings there. I don't know if that's an actual like real animal with those wings, but it looks kind of like a flamingo in a sense, but he's got a long beak. I don't know. You'll have to let me know if that is an actual animal, like real animal, or if that's just the artist like take on it. But this is giving me, this is like a swamp, look at this. It's giving me like the vibe, I live in the US and down in like the Southeast, states, there's these mossy trees, especially like around Georgia, they have these very moss covered trees, but it gives me the sense, with the water here, that it's kind of like I'm getting like mangroves coming through. I think that's what it's called, but if you like the mangrove trees, if I'm saying it right, they have roots that are connected underground. They're all connected. So, like the roots like grow into this big root system that's underground, like under the water, because they usually grow in swampy areas, and that's coming through really strongly. So it's like there's this connectedness, or maybe like seeing where, starting to understand where we're connected in the world, or how we connect in the world. Either that's through our tribe, through our tribe that we have connected with, that we're starting to connect with like-minded, similar people as us. We're starting to find our clique, so to speak, our group, those people that understand us, the people that resonate with us, that are on the same frequency as us. And maybe because of that, because we're starting to connect with people that are similar in nature to us, where we maybe, as the stork, I'm getting this sense of where we maybe were an outsider and didn't belong, or felt like we didn't belong. Now we're starting to feel connected. But when that happens, there are some changes and transitions that need to occur, because when you felt like an outsider, or felt like you don't belong in a certain, like maybe you've lost some friends, maybe you've lost some people in your life, maybe some things have transitioned, or you've moved from one job to another job, or one state to another state, or something like that. But now maybe I feel like as a collective, we're starting to kind of find where we belong, and where we feel like more connected to a community, to others around us. And so, where we felt as an individual, now we're feeling more connected. But that means we have to leave those old ways, those old beliefs of feeling not belong, like we don't belong, in the past. We have to let go of that. We have to, if we want to stay where we're at, and we want to stay connected with the people that we feel right with, that means that we kind of have to leave, probably old beliefs or things from our past that were associated with that individualism, with that feeling of being a loner or being different. We have to leave that in the past, and that means we may need to leave other things in the past. So there's a decision that needs to be made. Do we want to stay in this energy of feeling disconnected, feeling like we're alone and disconnected, or are we going to choose to be connected to the community that feels right, where we feel like we belong, where we feel like we fit in? That's the choice I feel that's coming through for this reading very strongly, very strongly. Okay, so that was, I think this is the Sacred Destiny deck. It'll be down in the description. I always try and put the decks down in the description, what I use, but I think that's Sacred Destiny by Denise Lynn. I really like Denise Lynn quite a bit. I got to meet her years ago. Oh my gosh, I think it's probably been almost 20 years ago now. I met Denise Lynn. She's a wonderful, great lady, honestly is. That was before she became really, really big. I mean, she was doing well then. She was, I don't think she published her, I don't know if she published the decks back then, but I know she had published a book or two back then when I had met her. I did a shamanism workshop with her, actually. Okay, you're really making me shuffle this. You're the one Spirit, you're the one that wanted me to use this deck. So give me a card. What card do you want? Okay, there we go. Thank you. It's like, you're the one that wanted me to use this deck. Okay, so we have illusion here. Take notice of inconsistencies. Look deeper into the situation as things are not what they seem on the outside. This is absolutely perfect because of everything that I just said. I think that we really are waking up as a collective, as a whole. All of us are starting to see things that we had not seen before. We're starting to see through some of the illusions that we have created for ourselves, where the false matrix is. We're starting to that illusion is starting to come down. The veil is starting to become thinner, where we're starting to see the reality of things. We're starting to see the illusions that we've created for ourselves and our lives, the misconceptions that we fell prey to, where we held on to certain beliefs, certain thoughts, certain things. Seeing, and when you have perception is everything, okay? And it really is. And the difference usually between one person and another person is really how they see the world. And how they see the world is through the aperture of their lens, of their experiences, of how they experience the world, and the beliefs that they formed as a result of the experiences that they experienced. So say, this is a perfect example, the test that they do where, like an event happens, like something happens in the world. And if you could talk to 50 people, and each one of those 50 people will tell you they saw something different. They heard something different. They saw, the way they perceived the situation, even though it was the exact same event, they all saw it slightly differently. And the reason they all saw it differently is because they saw it through the aperture of their experiences and how they perceive the world. And so this is where I think as a whole, as a collective, we're starting to see where we maybe have created these false perceptions that have maybe held us back and kept us stuck in some area of our life where we've been, because we have this almost stuck standstill energy, like I said, made us feel like outcasts, made us feel like we don't belong, made us feel like we don't fit in, which is not the truth. Because at a universal level, we are all connected. We are like those mangrove trees. We are all, our roots, at the root level, we are all connected. We are all made from the same, from the same core elements. If you strip things back, back far enough, the only difference is because we are humans and we have a brain and we think, we have created these illusions, we've created these perceptions, we've created these beliefs based on what we've experienced in our life. And that's the difference between, you, me, another person, but at the core level, we're all connected. So this is really what it's saying. You have this decision coming up. And it doesn't have to be your entire life. It's just maybe, it's wherever we feel like we don't fit in. And it's going to be different for everyone, where we've kept ourselves separate from others, where we don't feel like we're part of something bigger. And like I said, it's going to be different for everyone, what that is. So, but you're going to know, because that stuff's going to come up. It's coming up now. You're going to, where there's this decision of whether you can stay in that energy of continuing to feel left out or separate, or to be part of the whole, to be part of the group, to find a group or a community. Now, it's not saying you have to connect with everybody in the world. That's really is asking a bit much, but it really, it really is like just an area where you've left yourself out of, it could be as simple as like that you don't ever ask for help, because I'm saying that because I know I'm guilty of it. I would, because of different conditionings that I had and experiences I had growing up, I never asked for assistance or asked for help from people because I always felt like it came at a price. It always came at a cost. So I was never willing to ask for help because I didn't know what the cost would be. I truly believe nothing was ever given freely, truly given freely. And that was a belief and a concept, a belief that I had to really try and break free of. And I still struggle with it at times, but I'm a lot better than I used to. But it's something like that where I've left, exactly like that. It's something like that where you have kept yourself separate from allowing others to be in your life in some way, where you've left yourself out in the cold. That Five of Pentacles, left yourself out in the cold and left yourself abandoned in some area of your life because either you weren't willing to ask for help, or, you thought that you didn't deserve it. You thought you weren't enough for that, whatever it is. I mean, we all have our things. So let's go ahead and get our tarot and see what we have for the tarot that comes through. The Fool. Okay, that one. And this one. Okay. There's that Hierophant card. It wanted to come out. What I want to do, I think I'm going to do 5 and 5 because it didn't want to give me a clarifier deck. So I'm going to see if I can get 5 and 5 here. It might be pretty tight. We'll see. We'll go ahead and move these over a little bit because I want to do 5 and 5. That's what I'm feeling. The Ten of Wands. And the last card, the Ace of Cups. Well, you're just going to make it really tight here, aren't you? You're going to make it really tight here for me. Really, really tight. Now you can't see all the cards. Okay. We got enough room space here. I think we got enough space here now. Okay, now we can get the other 5 cards. So give me a clarifier, please, on this Fool. Give me a clarifier for this Fool card. Oh my goodness. That jumped right out. Nine of Cups. So going after, this is where we've left ourselves out in the cold, where we felt like we didn't deserve something in our lives. And that's what I really feel like there was this illusion that we've created of lack, because this is a wish fulfillment. So with this coming on, with this clarifying the Fool, it's like taking a risk toward what makes us happy, what makes, what is we consider our wish fulfillment, which is what's coming up here is like, there's a place where we've left ourselves, like denied ourselves happiness in a certain area. And so we're at this crossroads is what I feel like, where we have to make that decision. And that's what this Hierophant, I feel like there's this like kind of like, it really, this is tight, Hierophant can talk about values and beliefs. And so what do we clarify this Hierophant, please? I really feel like it has something to do with, those core beliefs and values that we've created for ourselves. That was a false illusion. Give me a clarification on this. Give me one card on this Hierophant. Yeah, we need to put an end to the illusions, to the false beliefs and values we created, where we had this perception or this belief that we created that we didn't deserve something in our lives. There was something we denied ourselves, that we weren't willing to take the risk on. It's like here, what it's telling me is kind of like we took the risk in the wrong direction because we believe, that's what we believed, which is, I mean, when you believe something, that's you stand by those principles of what you believe. But with this illusion card coming out, this is what the full moon is illuminating, is it's starting to show us where we thought, I always forget to check the time. It's cat feeding time. That's what that sound is, my automatic cat feeder. So, which also can be a confirmation in a sense. But we have left ourselves out, like we've left ourselves out in the cold. We have created, like we thought, we really truly believed that the way we were doing things, the way we were believing those values and traditions, the beliefs that we had, we were willing to die on that hill because that's what we believed. We believed that to be true. But with this full moon, we're starting to see that maybe there's fallacy in what we believe. Like we're starting to see that what we believed is starting to maybe crumble a little bit, and we're starting to see the fallacy in the beliefs that we formed, that are, and how they have held us back from really having what we want, like really being able to go in the direction that we want. And I kind of like the fact that we have the death here, because not only is death is putting an end to those values, but also the call to transform or change the way we look at things, change our beliefs, transform, put an end to old beliefs, but also transform those beliefs, even if it's just to tweak it a little bit, because we're seeing the fallacy in it. And so we're willing, with the Fool and the Nine of Cups here, we know that it's important to us to change that, because we know where we've left ourselves out in the cold. And I know I don't have the Five of Pentacles here, trust me, but it's in this energy. And so we're willing to take a risk toward what it is we're seeing, where we've maybe denied ourselves. I like that this is showing kind of, especially with this Ace of Cups at the end, that's the new beginning. So we've put an end to, or we're changing things. And I love that we have the Ace of Cups following after this Ten of Wands, because we realize, where we've maybe disappointed ourselves, where we've created this burden that we didn't have to place on ourselves. And so now we're willing to change that. We're willing to look and invest in something that we're willing to invest those emotions into a different form, into a different opportunity. That's that Fool card, taking that risk to start something new, that has to do with our emotions. So, emotional. This is also, if you've watched my readings in the past, the Ace of Cups is this is our cup. This embodies who we are as a person, and we take that cup out into the world and we offer it to others. So we're willing to change our values and take a risk of putting ourselves out there in a new way, we've changed this cup, death, we've changed this cup, and we're willing to now, offer that new cup out, because we're tired of leaving, of this burden that we've created for ourselves, because we've seen this. And I like with where we started at the standstill, but I'm seeing through the cards, there's this movement. There's a movement toward a new beginning. Like where this is at a standstill, it looks like this reflection may give us some of the momentum that we need to maybe make that change. So give me a card on this Emperor, please. Give me a card on this Emperor. The Page of Wands. Yeah, because we're curious of we're willing to take the action, because Emperor is a card of action. That's the divine masculine energy there. And he's somebody that takes action, because if you think of masculine and feminine energy is more receptive, where masculine energy is more active. It's more action oriented. So, we're willing to explore. We're willing to take a chance, a risk. There's everything here saying we're willing to change our ways and take a risk on changing something we're seeing, where we stopped ourselves. Give me a card on this Ten of Wands, please. Yeah, we're willing to give to something else because we didn't in the past. And that was the burden, because we weren't giving to some area in our life. We weren't willing to accept help, because this is give and take. This is reciprocity. We weren't willing to give to something, or we weren't accepting help from others it's going to be different, so it could be, where maybe, maybe you had selfish, we, or I'm trying to give examples here. Maybe you had selfish energy in the past, and that selfish energy because you didn't give to others. Others weren't giving to you either, and you realized that that was creating a burden in your life. That you realized that through that reciprocity, that's where you get, that energy exchange. That's where, you get as much as you give, and that could be something that you're realizing, or, like what I talked about in my instance, realizing that by not accepting help, I was less likely to help others because of the fact that I thought that they viewed it the same. Everybody viewed it the same way I did. I thought, because I believed that, nothing comes for free, that when somebody gives you something, that it always comes at a cost. I wasn't likely to give to others either and help others because I didn't want to put that burden on them. I didn't want to make them feel like, like they owed me something, And so it goes both ways. And this is what this is talking, how it can create that burden on both ends, where we're not connected, where we're, where there's that fallacy. So give me a card on this Ace of Cups. Give me a card on this Ace of Cups. What do you got? I keep seeing, it's interesting. So this is I'm going to tell you, this is going to happen. This Ace of Cups, I keep getting drawn to the two fishies, these two fish. So I'm getting drawn that this new beginning, like this is probably going to take place. Like I said, like this movement, or, like I feel like the illusions are starting to come up at this time, or starting to be seen at this time. But with these two fishes here, I keep getting drawn to Pisces season. So I think by Pisces season, which is very soon, like in another month or so, like maybe by the next full moon, because we do have full moon, I think by the next full moon, that this is when things are going to really start to shift for those of us that choose to shift, choose to change, where we're really going to make a difference. We're really going to start implementing, taking action and implementing, realizing what needs to change and trying to change it and trying to implement that into our lives is what I feel here. Or doing the best that we can to. Yeah. And that's why, because we're going to get so tired of we're going to realize where we have really let ourselves down and maybe let others down. I think that's what we're really starting to see is where in our lives we've not only let ourselves down, but let others down. Look at this spilled cup. We realize where we've spilled the cups, where we've spilled those cups. And now we need to fix those spilled cups. And it's funny because, there's always the two cups on the Five of Cups here. There's always those two cups that are standing upright that we're not paying attention to. And that's fine because, to me, this represents the things in this reading particular, not overall, but in this reading, that tells me those two cups, those are the things that are okay in our lives, that are still there, that we're not going to lose everything by making this change. We're just going to be fixing or starting to repair the broken cups, the fallen cups, by making this shift. It's going to start repairing this, where we're that focus. It's going to help shift that focus and help make us feel better, where we have more cups upright than what we currently have in our life. So that's what I have for this full moon reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, I hope you'll like and subscribe, because of course that, as you've heard every reader out here say, including me, that does help the channel grow. So thank you so very much, and thank you so much for your time, your energy, your donations. I appreciate it all. Thank you so much. I wish you the very best. Harmony and gratitude to you.